to the succession of the Prophet Muhammad. We'll all remember that the Prophet Muhammad was a temporal leader. He was a religious leader as well. And for some, he was also the leader in mysticism. So in Shia Islam, as some of us may remember, all of the Prophet's authority continues in an institution known as the Imamate. And according to Shia Islam, the Prophet's cousin and son-in-law, Ali ibn Abi Talib, is the first Imam in this institution of Imamate, inheriting all of the authority of the Prophet, religious, temporal, spiritual. In Sunni Islam, as we know, the notion of authority goes to different parties. So you have the notion of the caliphate, which inherits sort of the political authority. Then you have the ulama, who end up holding religious authority. And for those who are Sufis, the Sufi sheikhs end up with spiritual authority. Now, of course, none of this happened overnight. This has been subject to development, but it's something we have to keep in mind, especially to understand Shia Islam. So in Shia Islam, then, the imamate is transmitted amongst the lineal descendants of Ali ibn Abi Talib. It goes through his son Hussein. And when the imamate reaches the sixth imam, Ja'far al-Sadiq, this becomes a critical point. Because after the death of the Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, the Shia community splits into two groups. And the reason why there's a split is because different groups adhere to a different son of this imam as to which son of Ja'far al-Sadiq should be the next imam. So, the group known as the Ismailis, not surprisingly, holds as imam Ismail, who was one of the elder sons of Ja'far al-Sadiq. And another group, which eventually became known as the Twelvers or the Ithna Asharis, adheres to a younger son by the name of Musa al-Kazim. And the reason why this group is called the Twelvers is because they trace several imams after Musa al-Kazim until the 12th imam of that line disappeared. And it is the belief of the Twelver Shia that this imam continues to exist today and that he will reappear near the Day of Judgment. So the Twelver Shia recognize 12 imams. That's why they're called the Twelver Shia. The Ismaili Shia, on the other hand, continue to trace the imamah through the line, the descendants of Ismail. And during this time, for about 150 years, the Ismaili imams were operating in secret. They had to live secretly. The reason why is because the Abbasid Caliphate was heavily persecuting all the Shia imams, Ismaili and Twelver. So the Ismaili imams went into concealment for about 150 years. And during this time, though, there was heavy Ismaili dawah activity throughout the Muslim world for this century and a half. And this finally culminated when an Ismaili imam by the name of al-Mahdi, interestingly, it's a very similar name to the 12th imam of the Ithna Ashari. So an Ismaili imam by the name of al-Mahdi establishes the Fatimid Caliphate. The Fatimid Caliphate is the first and only Shi'i Muslim caliphate that has ever ruled in the Muslim world. So in this caliphate, the Ismaili imams were succeeding as imams and as caliphs until the time of one Imam Mustansibullah. And over here, as it so happens, you have another division. And the division happens because different groups recognize a different son as the next imam. So one group, known as the Nizari, adhere to the imamate of a son named Nizar, and another group follows another son whose name is Mustayali. And the Mustayali group, their imam, after 2 generations of the split, also went into hiding or goes into concealment. The Nizari imama continues and moves to Iran. And I'll just mention something here. The word Ismailis, as you hear it today, commonly refers to the Nizari group. This group is known as the Boras. So if you meet someone who says, I'm an Ismaili Muslim, chances are he is a Nizari Ismaili Muslim. So the Nizari imama continues in Iran, and the Mongols actually destroyed the Nizari Ismaili state in 1256. due to which for the next 700 years or so, the Nizari Ismaili Imams and the entire Ismaili communities in those areas, it has to live in secret. They practice what is called taqiyya. Taqiyya is, in the Shia sense, when a group has to outwardly appear as a different type of Muslim. So for example, the Ismailis during these 700 years or so outwardly appeared as Sunnis or as Twelvers or as Sufis. Why? Because if you revealed that you're an Ismaili Muslim, you'd probably be executed. So this continues for some time. And in the 19th century, the 46th Imam of the Nizari Ismaili line was given the title of Aga Khan by the Shah of Persia. So today, of course, you'll note that the Imam of the Ismailis is called the Aga Khan. Aga Khan, however, is a secular title. It's not a religious title. This title, however, became hereditary. So the 47th Imam is known as Aga Khan II. Then the 48th Imam is known as Aga Khan III, and it's with him that this Ismaili community sort of came into publicity during the 20th century. And finally then, the 49th Imam, who's known as Aga Khan IV, this is the present living Imam of the Ismailis. Right? And we'll talk about the details of him later. But the key point here is that, so today the Ismaili Imam is known as the Aga Khan. That's the key point, right? But Aga Khan is not a religious title, right? So it's only existed 4 generations.